Hello there. Welcome to the Kirk Minahan Show wrap up for July 12th, 2022. Today's episode, I don't know if you noticed this, Montante. Today's episode, the name changed a couple hours in. I don't know if you were aware of this.
No, I listened to it on my way home, so by then it was what it was.
So I will be taking responsibility for this. It was my fuck up. I was writing the description, and in the description, I thought Bill O'Reilly said that he's been to 86 countries. So I wrote that in the description. Colin saw that in the description. Decided to title it 86 countries. I was listening to it. It was 84 countries. So
no one's perfect.
We credited a couple more extra countries to Billy O'Reilly there, and so Cully.
You guys were wrong on Yugoslavia, right?
I think we were wrong on a bunch of stuff. Is Yugoslavia not a country?
No, I'm not a history buff by any means. I was in slow classes all throughout my school years, but I think Yugoslavia broke up.
Yugoslavia country.
It's now like Serbia.
Serbia.
Yeah, broke up. Also, UK. I'm surprised that slid. Like, UK's made up of like a couple different countries, like Wales, Republic of Ireland.
Yeah, I've read up. I looked that up, and apparently I thought the UK was the country, and then first of all, it's Northern Ireland, not the Republic of Ireland.
I got bad news for you. There's the Republic of Ireland, which the colors are traditional. You see the yellow, the orange, white, green, and then you have Northern Ireland, which is a white and red flag. I bet on soccer a lot.
But isn't that a part of? Isn't Northern Ireland a part of the UK and Ireland is not?
I know one of them isn't. You might be right on that, but yeah. So the fact that UK was okay, no one said anything. Exactly. That's where it all stems from. I know that from Sons of Anarchy. That's about it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think me and Mike just completely fucked. We are not. Never claimed to be geography geniuses. We'll get into all that. It was kind of more towards the end of the show, but the show started off today. I thought we were going to get a 20-minute show. As soon as Kirk started reading the ads, 30 seconds in, I was like, oh, he's not in a good mood. We're getting in a mood show today. But turned it around. I think talking Bruce and those dates and everything kind of can shift Kirk's mood quite a bit. And I think Kirk even said at one point when later on in the show when Dave was like, well, you fucking read all the ads, 10 seconds in, Kirk was like, yeah, I thought I was going to leave. So I think that I don't know if that was Kirk's plan, but I think he definitely opened up the door. Obviously he's a professional, the advertisers pay. We love the advertisers. He's still going to get them all in. He did phenomenal ad reads. He didn't half-ass the ad reads or anything like that, but it was just like, to do them all within 5 minutes. It's like, oh, we're not in a good mood today.
It's good to get him like that though every so often. If he goes a couple months, without one of those shows, and maybe he lost his fastball and he's kind of throwing in the towel. So seeing him fired up like that was good. I mean, I'm sure it'd be a little bit intimidating to be in the room with, but from a listening standpoint, it's good to hear that once in a blue.
I guess I know one of my favorite shows years ago was in 2019 when I believe it was called like Minifans Suck on Ice, and it was like a 45-minute show. Kirk did all the ad reads just like verbatim. It was it is always always good to hear every once in a while. Obviously I don't want his mood to be anything but pleasant, and I wish him nothing but the best. But I can understand from a listener perspective why it's good to kind of see a country Kirk every once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Good Twitter account as well.
Yes. So we were talking about, I'm not exactly sure. I think it's just probably the stress of the week in general, just, coming down upon it. The Wilbur is finally rearing its head. It gets closer every day. Minigolf seems to be just becoming more and more of a nuisance when you sit down and think about it. The biggest, some might argue this is the biggest week in show history. It's definitely the most hyped week in show history with the Wilbur, coming up on Saturday, and to have to you just gotta to be dealing with like this mini golf thing that it's not really a show, it's not really a KMS thing, but it is. Kirk says he's happy to do it, but it's just such a pain in the ass to get to the Hamptons. I mean, if this was taking place in fucking, in Foxborough or, Watertown.
Even in Manhattan, it wouldn't be that bad. The Hamptons are just such a pain in the ass to get to. Like he said, he's on multiple boats. I think he's out of his mind for doing it. Obviously, he's the one who kind of made this tournament happen. If he never signs with Barstool, they're never doing this. So it's kind of a butterfly effect. But the logistics of it is just a nightmare. Even if he wins the thing, like, I don't know, good for him. Good luck. But you guys are lucky that you and Dave look like you both got out of it.
Well, yeah, I think we're going to be doing something for the Wilbur tomorrow. So, I talked to Dave today, and it looks like that neither of us will be attending said mini golf event in the Hamptons. My plan was I was going to. This was back when we thought we were going to be recording something there with people who were there. Was going to be to load up my car with equipment, stay with my grandmother in Connecticut, and then leave at like 3 a.m. in the morning to head on down. But does not look like that will be my chosen path for Wednesday.
Why are they doing the Hamptons? Is it just because of Portnoy? Like,
I think it's.
Stays?
I mean,
is that literally that simple?
It must be. I mean, I can't imagine this. I mean, they're not advertising the place. I mean, if the place like paid them and we're like, hey, we'll give you $10,000 to have the Barstool mini golf
that I
here,
get, but yeah,
they would be advertising the thing.
Yeah.
Barstool kind of came out and was like, hey, we don't want you to say the address or give the name of the place. And like I said, it's a very bland mini golf place. It was,
if Frank the Tank ends up somehow beating Kirk, is that what finally tips him over the edge?
You think Kirk's going to kill himself if Frank the Tank? Mini golf?
I think it'd be understandable.
No, I don't think that would happen.
Neither do I, but I'm saying
one, I don't think Frank the Tank's going to do it. Well, I also think that if Frank the Tank somehow does like pull the greatest round of mini golf, I don't think Kirk would kill himself because of that.
I mean, Frank's horrible. I'm sad to say I've seen him play more mini golf than I should. He's terrible.
Okay. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe that would push him over the edge. That would be thing. But I just think this week is just full of stress with the Wilbur, and like Kirk was saying, like so Dave, going through like who's going to be running the lights and the sound from the Wilbur side. We don't have exact names or anything like that. It's run by the Wilbur, and it's difficult. It's tough to not know. It'd be good. It'd almost be better to know a negative than to be unknown.
Hey, you're fearing the unknown. That's stressful when you can't control everything.
So that was kind of how the show started off. Like you said, it is good every once in a while to kind of get a Country Kirk in there. But quickly, it was kind of like a gift from the gods that literally 3 minutes before Kirk walked in, Bruce Springsteen's Twitter account tweeted out all the dates and everything like that. So that's always good. You're from New Jersey?
Yeah.
Are you a big Bruce guy?
I called in back in the day a couple of Bruce stories, including me seeing his penis. Yeah, so I grew up same town that Bruce had a house in for a long time. I've known Mr. Springsteen. I've seen him periodically, maybe once every 2 years since I was a little kid.
And he just shows his penis to people.
Yeah, he hasn't gone to the gym to that Jersey Strong maybe 8 years. But back in the day, like when I was in high school, he was a classic old guy where you pass a certain age, you start walking around naked. And he was one of the fellas walking around. There's
no way Bruce Springsteen was at your public gym.
My friend Pete can vouch for it 1,000%.
Okay,
he was with me when we saw his penis.
Okay,
nice, shaved, not balls, shaved like a baby boy.
Oh, well,
maybe a little strange to explain that, but it's too late.
This would be. It wasn't. You don't think it was like just a Bruce lookalike?
No, confirmed. I went up to him. And I said, how do you think the Mets are going to do this year? And he said, I'm a Yankee fan. Why would he be a Met fan? I said, I thought all Jewish people were Met fans. And he said, it's Springsteen, not Springsteen. So this was the man. This is Bruce.
It's just
that was before I saw
this. Could be very true. This could be very true. This is like me saying, yeah, I was at the local YMCA and Tom Brady was just kind of hanging out.
I swear in my life, grew up in Rumson. He
not only is he hanging out, he's hanging out in the locker room, just fucking full on dong out.
butt
and I go
ass naked, changing, and I was weird enough at the age of 22, and probably weird enough now just to ask him. I was probably younger than that, actually, probably 20, 21. Just ask him, talking baseball. Next thing he's dropping trout, he's naked, and you don't look at it, but you have it in your peripherals. I saw it. I didn't see any hair.
Of course. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. If I'm in the locker room and I see Bruce Springsteen naked, I'm gonna probably take a look. But I feel like he would know that, and so I feel like he could own his own. He wouldn't have his own private gym with his own trainers, and I don't know. I mean, he is a blue collar guy, but I feel like going to the maybe I have Bruce all wrong. Maybe this is
at the end of the show, or if you want to check my stories, I have a couple sources I can call.
Did you take a picture of his penis?
No, this is back in the flip phone era. I wouldn't even do it nowadays, but I'm saying it would be a lot more, not more, weird back in the day. But I have sources on this.
Well, Kirk said he's going to be going to 8. I believe his number was 8 on the arena tour. Couple shows in Long Island, the one in Boston, Buffalo, whole bunch of fun things. Hopefully he has a grand old time. Kirk said he likes to go to the show in Buffalo.
I know, it's a hike.
It is a hike, but like
who's Bruce gonna be? Is it just
travel for these?
Is it just Bruce? Is it just the E Street Band?
On the thing it said Bruce and the E Street Band.
Okay, so I don't know if they had any like weird.
I think Bruce opens up for himself. I don't think Bruce has openers.
You're not gonna have like the Fray and a couple other weird bands, like okay, good for him.
Yeah. Something tells me One Republic isn't going to be, on.
That's
on the
good.
Springsteen tour.
Refreshing the year.
A couple other things mentioned today. There's some radio talk with the person going off on what was it?
Don LaGreca.
Yes,
Don LaGreca. I listen to ESPN New York daily. I have for the last decade. Don LaGreca, that was pure.
When he says he has a top 50 podcast in every country, is that true?
Yeah, he has a hockey podcast, dropping pucks or some shit, and it's big. I mean, in the sports category, I'm sure. I mean, I've never listened to it because I listened to him but no, he's good for a blow up like that once a year. So that wasn't like him putting on, like, I know Cullinane was like, oh, I think he was kind of joking. He's not. He's like broke microphone and shit in the past. That's authentic. I actually think he's funny. So no, it was good to hear. It's funny to hear you guys talk about him. It's kind of like a crossover in my worlds.
Yeah. So that was just kind of like a funny just to hear like a media personality blow up like that. The other thing that was kind of glossed over, but I think it's kind of a big story, was not necessarily a big story, but just like ironic, is that Adaucy WFAN is now taking LIV Golf money. LIV Golf has been the boogeyman of the sports world for the past 2 months, I'd say. Everyone, LIV Golf is evil. Everyone's commenting on it. 9/11 survivors are talking about it, and the families of the deceased, and it's all going back to the Saudi prince. And then, as I'm sure WFAM and Boomer and Gio were talking, we're shitting all over them too. And then, I mean, good for them for like coming back from the ad and like talking about it.
Of course.
But I mean, this is also the same company that Bob Murchison would call up advertisers to be like just look at like how much things have changed in 5 years. Adaucy has now gone from losing advertisers because the people
that were woke.
Correct. The woke people getting upset that people were having discussions on air, to now taking quote unquote like blood money
from people who would throw Bob's son off a roof.
Yes. And I think I want to get this right. I think Adaucy is actually doing pretty well stock wise.
No, I think they're technically a penny stock at the moment. I think they're under $1, right?
Okay, it closed today at 88 cents. So I believe there is
that's fucking unreal.
I believe there is a limit to how long, if you stay under $1 for a certain number, for a certain amount of time, I believe you're taken off the New York Stock Exchange.
I think a calendar year, but like failing companies like Adaucy, what they're gonna do is a stock split. So if you have 4 shitty stocks for 88 cents, if you do a 4-to-1 split, now you have 1 share of Adaucy for like $2. It's kind of like a little way around it, but you can only do so many of those.
yeah, so we'll see how that goes with everything like that. But I don't know. It's just funny, just every once in a while, just to kind of kick Adaucy, especially when they're down.
Yeah, no, it's good.
And Kirk,
No one pities them.
and I mean, I still think there's definitely some fight there. Kirk mentioned today that Courtney Cox kind of took a shot at the old show about how they didn't know that Curtis was drinking, which I think is more just ignorant to the fact of like you don't understand what an alcoholic is. Like alcoholics, many of them are like very good at hiding. Like some of them
Yeah.
are like out in the street, it's tough. But there's such thing as like a functioning alcoholic. And for Courtney Cox to be like, I have no idea how anyone had no clue that Curtis was drinking this entire time. It's like, well, I mean, that's just kind of
it's an ignorant
it's just ignorant. It's just ignorant.
So is Courtney Cox? Is she who was the one that took the radio streets by storm a couple months ago? That new that's not her, right?
Mego on Megan Ottolini.
Yeah. So who's Courtney Cox and
I think Courtney Cox is on the Greg Hill show, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
I think I don't know if she's an everyday person, but I believe she's she
yeah, they're struggling. When I am in New England, I do like to pop on sports radio, and like I said, I'm unbiased to it. I mean, I guess to hear about it on the show, but that one station really is so much better. It is night and day. Like Felger, I don't really think he's great, but he's not terrible. The other station's fucking terrible. Yeah, it's not even like a funny terrible. It's just like unlistenable.
It's rough. It's rough. I mean, I if I ever throw on the radio, I'm gonna listen to the Sports Hub, like Patriot stuff or whatever like that. But So I think the fans' main thing that they thought Kirk was gonna just come out firing about Chris today. I do think it was an underrated funny moment when Kirk said that like his brother Ryan texted him like the Chris thing was like, did you see this? And Kirk's like, yeah, Ryan, I fucking saw it. But I think Kirk made a great point when Kirk says something about me being a moron, which is true. And then Dave is like, why are you in such a bad mood today? Is it because of a certain hire at Barstool? And Kirk's like, no.
Yeah, he teed him up for it. And he was just like, no.
Well, no. And then Kirk makes a great point. He's like, I don't know how many times we're going to rehash it. It's like whenever Chris gets brought up, it's the same thing. I know the fans want Kirk to go fucking nuclear on him, or like they either want him to go nuclear on him, or they want him to like come out like pom poms going, go Klemmer, go Klemmer, go.
Well, if you want him to go nuclear on him, just patience, because I think that's that's inevitable. It'll happen.
Maybe, or just like what Kirk said today. He's like, I don't know how many times I want to say it. Good for Klemmer. Good for him getting this job, making the most of the opportunity. I'm done. He's done with this show. He has no use for him anymore. It's just like one of these was just like, how many times are we gonna rehash this? And I'm not. It's not Kirk's fault. It's not Dave's fault. I just think it's just everyone just wants there to be some giant.
Yeah, it's almost like they're teeing Kirk up till he eventually goes off. Like there's keep asking. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there?
I know, yet? but I don't think that's where Kirk goes off.
Not at all. He helped him get on Idol. He helped him along the way, and he was just disappointed with the way he went out, with kind of distancing himself, not doing it the kind of like the I don't know, the right way. But other than that, he said that you can only say the same thing so many times before he gets sick of it. So I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see though. I predicted this like a goddamn prophet 4 or 5 months ago, literally to a T. I know Dave, he's like he wants his little crew of freaks, and Chris fits the mold and finished 8th in Barstool and got a job. But how far can that go? Because the shtick can only go so far. So Chris is going to have to come up with some original ideas and poop hold them. And racing little girls can only, get you so far. So he's going to have to be a little bit better than that. But we'll see. I think he has some ideas for baseball that Dave liked, that I heard. So I don't know, but I just hope that when Chris does something polarizing, whether good or bad, that Kirk isn't that he gets.
Of course, I mean, if Chris does something crazy. If Chris does something crazy, Kirk's going to talk about it. But I just don't think – I think some people right now think they want Kirk to react to every little thing Chris does, whether it be stupid, not really original or just something like that. Just kind of – I don't know. But it's just – it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So.
And Chris's defense, I think he's done more content maybe than any of the new hires that won Barstool Idol or got hired from Barstool Idol, other than maybe that kid John Rich. That girl is terrible. I don't want to get too deep in the Barstool.
I truthfully have no idea what
Caroline. She's like the tall, pretty one, but she doesn't do anything. She's at the office every day collecting a paycheck.
She's the winner, right?
Yeah, I think she technically won. No, John Rich. Well, there's like 2 winners, but so at least Chris is trying, I guess. Better or worse.
Let's see. But like the idea that Kirk was in a mood like this morning because of Klemmer getting hired is just silly. It's not true.
Yeah, nope.
It's just I don't think Kirk, even when he kicked like Klemmer out, he was never like upset or like being like, let's get this fucking show over with. I don't want, I'm upset that Klemmer is on Barstool. I mean, it's the complete opposite of how Kirk would handle things. A couple other things real quick.
Are you struggling tonight?
No. Why?
You're struggling. A lot of hiccuping?
No, I'm not struggling. Oh, I'm dying, but
I see it. I'm not a doctor, but I would agree.
Other than that, I mean, I'm fine. A couple other things.
That's good.
Josh, I'm just looking at my notes here. Maybe that's what you think I'm doing. Josh Prey hired by Barstool. And Mike goes, yeah, Justin's already trying to cancel him. I just like to do, a couple tweets. Kirk, Barstool, see if anyone's ever tweeted anything in the past.
Couple choice words.
That could see. Yeah, no, I'm not looking for like cancelable words. I'm more looking for like, as they ever, where was he in June of 2020, on the Portnoy stuff. I'm just wondering because that
of course
could be something in the future. Kirk's made a good point. I know you probably disagree on the Hunter Biden thing today. It's just sad. It's like there's all these videos coming out now, and it's like, granted, like I do think that's.
Oh yeah, no, I disagree wholeheartedly on that. Yeah.
I just think the whole thing is sad, and I do think that like Joe Biden should just like literally just come out and be like, my son is a serious drug addict. I'm going to get him all the help he needs over the next 3-4 years. We're going to get his mind right. We're going to stop trying to like politicize him and bring him to these events. And I know I'm sure like Jerry and everyone, and I'm sure you like absolutely love all these videos coming out of all these
like
people.
He said it, like you said, if it's a Trump, forget about it. But I mean, this guy's in powerful positions, influential positions where he's has a hand on international policy. So like the idea of, I feel bad for him. Yeah, I do too. But at the same time, it's not good for our country, and something needs to be done about it. But nothing will. We're on to the next story.
But yeah, I think, like I said, I think Kirk kind of mentioned it. I mean, it's the biggest story in like the right wing news. I think something to do with tacos is big today. I saw my grandfather.
Yes, Joe Biden said like the Latinos are as complex as tacos or something along those lines.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. They're all upset about tacos. But I think other than that, like I think the big, like I think all the Jerry Kirk fans really wanted Kirk to mention things like Hunter Biden. But what is Kirk?
If you know Kirk by this point, unless there's Steve Robinson sitting in that chair and not goatee Cullinane, it's not going to get brought up. Steve would push it, and that would be content. But Cullinane will throw it out there half-assed, and then as soon as he gets walked over, we'll walk it back and apologize.
Yeah, I think Steve would push it, but I do think when you say I just thought of something, Steve would push it, but I don't think he would push it to the point of Kirk being like, "Okay, Steve, shut the fuck up. We get it about Hunter Biden." No,
but he would let him run, and then they kind of riff off that.
Oh yeah, totally. I think Kirk would kind of take the opposite take, not opposite, but he would let Steve go off on a little bit, and then he would kind of like fight with him a little bit on it.
Yeah, exactly.
I do think it was very funny today when Cullinane was trying to. You said like Steve would have pushed the Hunter Biden story when Cullinane was pushing the.
What was he? The
New York nuclear test thing. That was very funny. when he goes back, there's always a couple stories every now and then where Cullinane tries to push something and he goes back. He's like, yeah, and Kirk's like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, the fourth time he was like, all right, dude, are you good? Are you good on this? Like, how many times are you gonna try to hint at this?
He's like, yeah,
it was an absurd story for what it's worth.
Well, it's just nuclear. I mean, it's always good to know what to do
I think get under a desk and get your 5th booster and no issue.
That's right. And so I know you kind of wanted to talk about it at the beginning, but I was thinking, like, I don't listen anymore. It doesn't sound like Kirk listens anymore. Mike needs to do, I know he's doing Quincy and everything like that. Mike needs to do a show about Rome because I feel like it's the only thing he wants to talk about. Coming every single Monday. I feel like he's just hooked into Rome. I have no idea what's going on. You said it was the craziest. You said it was the craziest 3 minutes.
Yeah, I listened too. I listened to every episode. And I'm always like kind of just taken back by like what he's talking about. Like it's so bizarre, but there is something captivating about it. But last night there was a 3 to 4 minute run where there's music and he's like ranting, is this fake? And blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, dude, what the? And you think it's a 10-second thing, but next thing you know, it's 3 minutes of this, and it's literally it's insanity. I couldn't believe that Cullinane didn't push the clip harder because it really is just the most bizarre thing you'll ever hear in your life. And every other week, you're saying that with Rome. You're like, oh, this is the craziest thing I ever heard. And then 2 weeks later, he'll top it. It's insane.
These clips get me like going, like No Church of the Wild by fucking Kanye West. It's like, let's fucking go. Like, let's go. This is
and he played that for like 5 minutes.
Really? Oh,
yeah. It was like a 15-second loop of the same song. And it was like him, like, am I on my balcony right now? Or am I in a van? You're just like, what the fuck are you? No, realistically, you're in a booth right now, screaming to a microphone, then editing yourself.
It's the whole thing is just wild. And I'm glad Mike is finding such enjoyment out of it. But
I think you guys are missing out. It's
I know Kirk, Guns Ablazing a month ago when the first episode came out, June 1st, Kirk it's all he wanted to talk about. But it's like almost exhausting to the point where you're like, is he like at a conference right now? And he's just recording it and he's adding in all these echoes and all these. It's very well produced, I will say.
It is.
But it's just kind of like a side topic right now.
And he'll throw in like a fucking weird song where he's singing, and then he'll have like weird echoes, and then like it's fucking weird. But I'll tell you what, it's captivating. There's a lot of normal podcasts out there that you're tuning out after 2 seconds. He puts out a Rome for 80 minutes. I'm locked in. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. So that's always interesting. Like I said beforehand with the geography stuff, me and Mike were terrible at it. I think people were saying, Yugoslavia is not a country, UK is not a country, Holland isn't a country.
It is. That was correct. That was Holland.
Well, I saw some people say, is it called Holland or is it called the Netherlands?
It's the Netherlands, but that'd be like the United States of America and it's like two different names. USA or I don't know. It's similar to that. Netherlands and Holland.
There's all these, and then Mike's pulling out fucking Turkistan out of nowhere, which is a country I've never heard of before. But good on Mike.
That one was unbelievable.
Calls returned today. Good for the calls. I think they were fine. There's definitely like something there with like the Brittany Griner stuff. But we'll see. I feel like it's been a while since really calls have been prevalent in the show.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think what got me into that really separated the show, and it's still I listen every day. It's still great. Was when they did like the prank calls in like 50 states or whatever. Yeah. That was really good. I was never a huge parody song guy because I don't like people singing around me. I was a little weird. There was a couple absolutely great ones, but just like the calls, like the very stupid calls, the very lazy intellectual calls into these radio stations in Nebraska were just so funny, so stupid but so funny.
So, but
a little more of that maybe. But no.
We don't have any prank call contests going on. But the calls into the show, I think they were fine today.
It's always good to hear what did Mike do for dinner. It's always fun to hear.
Of course, it's always good. And he said he had couscous or something like that.
Couscous and steak, yeah, which was big. Is the Justin show just dead?
Is the Justin show dead? Yeah, the Justin show's dead.
Why?
Because I work for KMS now. I can't be doing. I don't want to be doing a show where I'm talking about fucking video games. And
what would you give? What would you give your performance so far on the Wilbur?
I don't know. Would Kirk give me an F? So
you were asked to lay back, so I get that. But
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I was brought in to fuck with Chris, and I failed with that. Now it's a job at Barstool. So I think my time's numbered. Yeah, but I failed. I mean, it's like
no, but like, you did. Like, but it's like he owes you a big thank you and a big hug.
I'm sure. Yeah, big hug.
I heard he's gonna be at the Wilbur, from what I hear. My sources.
Oh, your sources. I'm sure. Are your sources Chris himself?
No.
Okay, well then I wouldn't believe your sources.
My sources have been right so far.
Anything else from today's show that you want to touch upon?
No. I mean, I think it was it. I mean, show's been strong recently. I think. I mean, it's different because you guys are on the actual side of doing it. I think the Sacco, like when it's all said and done, I think like the Sacco shows will be remembered more than the Wilbur.
Maybe I have,
But it
I
might
have,
be more nostalgic because you guys grew up like everyone grew up in like Boston, like knowing that event. You also don't know the Saco Drive-In movie theater, but I just think,
well, I think from like if you look back 10 years from now, I think more people are going to, when they think of the show, are going to think of like Madawaska or Magnolia. You know, I think those were bigger parts of the show than say the Wilbur, just because it's just like it was out. There was so much content from it. But
did Guy die?
I don't fucking know.
Someone started a nasty rumor the other day. Like I couldn't tell if they were kidding.
Well, if they're coming from your sources, then they're probably true.
No, my sources did not tell me this. My sources, I got big man sources, so they're pretty good. Last thing, how did Menners? What would you give grade on Menners on his performance on Minifandom with you guys? Oh no, you weren't there.
I wasn't there. I was sick.
Did you hear it at least?
Yeah, of course I listened to it. I know I'll give it a B.
Okay. Yeah, and that was good on Kirk to do that. I mean, he had to do that. It's but it was good to see. I mean, Menners. I'm so sick of Menners going around New England doing these stupid peace sign photos with every Minifan on Earth. I'm sick of that.
Yep. But we'll see. Anything else you want to? I mean,
that's it.
Montante's World. Make sure to check out Montante's World. Blah blah blah.
Or don't. It's okay.
And
either way, unlike Justin's show, we keep trudging along.
Well, yeah, I mean, because I work for Kirk. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, I'm doing the Justin show tonight with.
That'd be really detrimental. Put stuff on the Kirk Minahan YouTube network, other than the Mick guy. It's good instinct.
Yeah, pretty much. Kirk doesn't give a shit about the YouTube network. If I had a show where I talked about the next Modern Warfare for an hour, it would. I don't think that would be received well, but we'll see. Thank you, Montante, for joining me on this beautiful Tuesday night. And thank you to Kirk. Thank you to Dave. Mike, great show. And we will talk to you all on Friday.